Live. Well, not actually live, but my rapid reactions for Misfits X Series. There's one big fight I know you guys want me to talk about. And there's one big thing I know you guys want me to talk about. Let's just get it out the way. We don't have to go in order. Let's get it out the way. Salt Papi versus Josh Bruckner. I was an idiot, and I picked against Salt Papi because I thought that Josh Bruckner's size and power was going to dominate Salt Papi. And I was wrong. I was completely wrong. Josh Bruckner looked slow and sluggish for this fight. He was slow. He was throwing weird check left hooks for some reason. I didn't really understand why he was doing that, but he apparently his team thought that was the best course of action. But I honestly after that game plan, he kind of deserves to lose. If you're going up against a guy with that much speed and you're standing in the pocket on your front foot, not throwing anything, you deserve it, man. You deserve it. But speaking of Salt Papi, I'm full faith in Salt Papi now. He is the guy now. I will say that, and I will back him for the rest of his career. I think he's the guy. I think he gives anybody problems. Anybody problems. I seriously do. He gives everybody that has ever fought YouTube boxing, he gives them problems. Now, let's talk about the main event. Let's talk about the first fight on the card. Aegis Virgo versus Anthony Taylor. I thought Anthony Taylor might pull the upset, but Aegis Virgo said, pieced him up, man. Knocked him down too. Anthony Taylor, I don't really know how he gassed out. He probably gassed out from throwing those big windmill punches that weren't landing anywhere. Because when you throw a big punch and you miss, that takes a lot out of you. And it took a lot out of him. He got knocked down 2 times. The second was a little more controversial, but it did look like he got knocked down. Aegis Virgo needs to go on to fight some good guys. I don't think he should fight Slim. That's a big mismatch, and Slim is moving down anyway. He could move up to maybe like heavyweight. If he can move up to heavyweight and fight a guy like, I don't know, Hasim Rahman, maybe he fights Jake Paul. I don't know. Now let's think. What fight do we want to talk about next? Let's talk about the Elle Brooke fight. I haven't talked about a woman fight on the channel yet. Elle Brooke looked good against Faith. Stood in there with a girl that was much bigger than her, and knocked her down, knocked her out. Enough said. So big up Elle Brooke. And then Swarms broke Ryan Taylor's face with one punch. Impressive win from him. He looked in a lot better shape. He looked in a lot better technique. He can tell he was really training for this fight, and he looked good. Now, Luis Alcaraz Pineda comes back, makes his Misfits redemption. When I saw those lights go down and I heard The Undertaker doom, I was like, there is no way that The Undertaker, 7 foot, 200-pound plus Undertaker, is going to fight little B-Dave, 168 pounds. I knew that wasn't happening. But I was like, who could this be? I really thought it was Alex. And then I saw the silhouette. I'm like, that guy's kind of tall. Alex is like 5'9". I said, that guy's kind of tall. He's kind of skinny. I saw the red and green and white lights. I was like, what could that mean? And my mind immediately went to Mexico, and I'm like, what's a Mexican fighter that has fought? And I couldn't think of it. And then the lights come up, you hear the mariachi music, and then he turns around and you see Pineda's face. It was like, that's probably a top 10 walkout. That might be that's probably top 3 walkout in YouTube boxing history. It was so good. I didn't think it was Pineda. I thought it was Alex Wasabi this whole time. But Pineda put on a show for the audience. The audience was completely behind him, and he went home victorious. I think the next fight for Pineda, Slim. Slim wants to move down. Luis Alcaraz Pineda is already at 167. They could even go down even more, go down to normal middleweight, because I think Luis was fighting at super middleweight. Go down to middleweight, put on a show for the crowd. But then we had Slim versus Tom Zanetti. Slim, I think, disappointed us. He disappointed us. I think his gas tank isn't very good. But honestly, he's fighting heavier than he should be. Like I said, go down to middleweight. Fight at middleweight. Fight a guy, go down to even welter. He could probably go down to welter. But he's already skinny though, But I don't think he has the power to stand in with heavier guys. Now, before we go to the main event, let's talk about Tom Zanetti. Insane heart, insane chin. For his first fight, he gives anybody problems, for real. He's not an easy fight for anybody. I thought he was gonna be easy to fight. I thought he looked nice on pads, but he kind of shot from the hip, kept his hands kind of low. So I overlooked him. He is the real deal. He could fight Temper. That's a fight that could happen. And speaking of Temper, I hope Temper's temper isn't high after he got knocked out. This is KSI's best knockout, man. It was clean. It was beautiful. This is KSI's best performance. I'll stand by that. I think most people will agree with me. It was a great performance. He looked a lot more technically savvy, and he had a good combination. I was pretty surprised when he knocked him out. I wasn't expecting. I was expecting a decision, and Temper to do a lot better than people were saying. And I was expecting, if it's not a decision, Temper might take the decision. I wasn't expecting a knockout from KSI. I probably should have, because Temper does tend to keep his hands low, and I'm going to try to get better on analyzing fights, because I tend to overlook things and think, that's not going to be important in this fight. But in the Salt Papi fight, Josh's boxing inability, was important, and I did overlook it. And in the Temper fight, Temper's inability to keep his hands up, I overlooked it, and it was important. So I'm going to get better at that guy for you guys. I'm going to get better at that for you guys. Okay, now, speaking of the Salt Papi Josh Bruckner fight, there was a comment that said, rub salt on your armpits if Salt Papi wins, and I stupidly said yes. I'm not going to be doing that, because it's just dumb. It's a waste of salt. It is a waste of salt. I'm not gonna do that. I could use that salt for plenty of other things, but and also it's pretty stupid. If you guys have any punishments for me, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll do them. I deserve it, but I'm not rubbing salt on my armpits. Now, what is next for the winners of these fights? I think I went over a little bit. Let's start from the bottom. Virgo, move up to heavyweight if you can, and fight maybe Kasim Rahman, fight Jake Paul if he wants it. For El Brooke, the fight is there. Astrid Wet. Honestly, I have El Brooke in that one. Astrid Wet didn't look amazing in her win against what the hell was her name? Kelly? I don't know. Then for Swarms, I think he should fight Deji. I think that fight is there, and that fight should be made. And for Pineda, I already said, I think Slim, that's the fight to make. And then for Pineda, and then it was Salt Papi, Gib. If Gib does not take that fight, I know Gib wants money, and Gib might be fighting on Global Titans. I've heard the rumors. He might be fighting Mayweather in February. I heard some of those rumors. But it's time for Gib to kind of, put your pride aside and get some fights. Put your pride aside and get some fights. We all respect you. You're a 7-figure giver. But you got to put your pride aside, and I understand Global Titans might give you more money to fight Floyd Mayweather, but if you're trying to kind of gain the respect, like I think Deji did get respect for fighting Floyd, because it's one of the greatest boxers of all time. But Gibb fighting Floyd, it just seems like he's just taking the money. He's not taking what makes a good fight for the fans, or what the fans want. Because at the end of the day, you are a YouTuber. You are an entertainer, and you're not entertaining. So I want to see him, maybe post more on YouTube, get a little more entertainment to his channel. But that's just my opinion. Now, Slim, Pineda, go down to middleweight and fight Pineda. Go down to middleweight and fight Pineda. And then for KSI, the Joe Fournier fight is there. The Tyron Woodley fight is there. Maybe the Salt Papi fight is there. And obviously we're going to have Jake Paul in probably November, December of this year. But yeah, that's what I think should happen. Let me know the punishments that you want in the comments, guys. But other than that, see ya. Oh, and before I actually end the video, someone commented if Salt Papi wins, rub salt on your underarms. And I guess I stupidly said yes for some reason, but I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I'm not rubbing salt on my armpits. That's just dumb. One, it's just dumb. Two, if you guys can come up with any other punishments for me, I will do them. Like, I don't know. Whatever you guys want me to do, I'll do. Just leave them in the comments below. And yeah, I cannot believe Salt Papi did that. He looked so much better than I expected him to look. I don't know why I didn't expect this from him, but I guess I just hadn't seen enough from him. But I've seen enough now. I think he gives anybody problems. Anybody. All right, that's the end of the video. Like, seriously, this is the end of the video. See ya.